Dude, the Leafs won. Why are you crying?
I'm sorry, it's just there was a moment in that game where John Tavares stripped Dion Phaneuf of the puck.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't know, man. I just wish I could make that into a GIF and send it back in time just to let everyone know it's gonna be okay.
Hi!
Victory, puppy! I am the I have no idea what I'm doing. God, this team is ruining my life!
Victory, puppies, boys! 6-1. High five! High five for 5 in a row. That's right, Iggy. That's right, Charlie. Does Garrett Sparks look done with the Leafs to you? No. Who would say such a thing?
Oh, Leafs win, buddy! The shoulder's getting jacked! 4-1 over the LA Kings. Want to see something cool? I don't care how early it is. Hey, you want to see something else? Look, when I click who has the most goals. Yo! As if this team doesn't even have William Nylander right now. Alright, let's talk about the game. Heading into it, Freddie Anderson is getting the start. I saw that on Twitter. Okay, good. Oh, no, okay, apparently they changed it to Garrett Sparks. Alright, that makes some sense. You know, heading into this game, only 3 teams around the league had already played 6 games, and the Leafs were one of them. You just came off a road trip, you're finally back at home, and after this you got a few days off. Why not give Freddie the extra rest? That's great. The Leafs' next back-to-back isn't until the middle of November, and Sparks isn't gonna get any better just facing practice pucks. Let him in! I'm sure Freddie's fine. Like, look, this tweet probably says, what? Sportcheck player alert, the Maple Leafs have recalled goaltender Eamon McAdam from Newfoundland of the ECHL on an emergency basis. Why? What's the emergency? There is no emergency. Everything's fine, right? Freddie's fine? Freddie's not fine! What the hell's the matter? His knee? Dude, I have 2. I'll give him one. No, it's okay. We're cool. Okay, we knew Sparks could potentially get into this situation. He's the backup goalie. Okay. What about Kasky Swole? Could you call up Kasimir Kasky Swole? Oh, fragada, he got hurt too. Remember last season when we were all looking at Vegas like, how does this happen? Well, easy. First 2 weeks of the season, 2 goalies get claimed off waivers, the AHL starter gets hurt, and the NHL starter gets hurt. All of a sudden, you're calling up players directly from the ECHL. Which, by the way, I think this might be the first time in Leafs history that they've recalled someone straight from the ECHL. I couldn't find it anywhere on the internet, but I'm pretty sure Justin Pogge was the first ever player recalled straight from the ECHL when he was with Anaheim. I don't remember exactly what happened, but there was something weird with the Anaheim AHL team, so they didn't have one and they had to use their ECHL affiliate. I think it's happened a few times in recent memory, never as I recall to the Leafs. So this game's backup goaltender brought to you by Matt Martin. Backing up for Toronto tonight, number 60, $2.5 million of cap space. Seriously though, McAdam, a 3rd round pick of the New York Islanders, he only just turned 24, he might be alright. Some people are asking what the heck are the Leafs gonna do? Well, there's a few options. Even if McElhinney or Pickard aren't put on waivers anytime soon, other teams are gonna put other goalies on waivers. Someone tweeted me Chicago's probably gonna put Anton Forsberg there at some point. The Marlies have goalie Jeff Glass, who played a cup of coffee with the Chicago Blackhawks, but he is on an AHL deal only. He cannot be called up. And worth mentioning, Sparks is perfectly healthy at the moment, and according to the team, they expect Freddie to go for next game, so whew. And lucky for the Leafs, they actually get a convenient matchup in the LA Kings at home. Similar goaltending situation, actually. The Leafs starter and Freddie Anderson is out, the Kings starter and Jonathan Quick is out. And just like the Leafs, the Kings made a decision. Do we go with the ever older Peter Budaj, or do we go with the younger kid, Jack Campbell? Tell me if this sounds familiar. 26 years old, paid his dues in the minors, put up decent numbers there. The asterisk here is McElhinney is better than Peter Budaj. But you know what? Damn it, Garrett Sparks is better than Jack Campbell. Just say it with your chest. Although, looking at Campbell's numbers from his first 5 games, 922, hot damn. But I put Sparks' resume up against his. Let's go! Who will win the battle of the relatively unproven at the NHL level goalies? Less than a minute in, Kasperi Kapanen behind the net and... I love that he celebrated like, yo, that worked! Matthews, Marleau, Kapanen, all of them hell on wheels on that shift, but the goal is just Kapanen banking it in off Jack Campbell and in. It is a 1-0 lead. Pretty sure that's just the 2nd time in 7 games that the Leafs have opened the scoring. The other time was the game against Dallas. And even though the goal was a little fluky, Matthews worked so hard on this play, but it's all started by a nice rush by Jake Gardiner. A guy who has gotta have a good game, gotta have a good season. Don't you want to get paid? You don't like money? Even if you don't like money, get your big contract and then give it all away. Give it to me. What do you mean I'm just gonna blow it on hockey cards? That's none of your business. But he looked good, and less than a minute in, the Leafs look good. 1-0. Question of the game, have the Leafs made you spoiled? They have for me, they made me spoiled. I'm a spoiled brat now. Because the first power play's out there, and oh, here we go, and they didn't score. What? This is bullshit. I expect them to score, and I gotta remember that even if they're like the best unit in the league, they're still only gonna score like like a quarter of the time, and even that's optimistic. But you know something? They got 2 of those. In fact, they got a goal last game from Josh Lethal, and late in the period, they got a chance to work again. The man who, like last game, drew a penalty. In this one, he drew another penalty, could have drawn another 2. Hi, and welcome to Drawing Penalties with Per Lindholm Bob Ross. You don't know what my voice sounds like yet. Hi, I'm Per Lindholm. When was the last time you used this? Hi, I'm Per Lindholm Bob Ross, and even though I'm pretty good at drawing penalties, that's Naz's thing, and I'll let him have it. Today, we're gonna do a geography lesson. Apologies in advance for my thick Swedish accent. Now over here, we have an incredibly accurate map of Scandinavia. And just so you don't get them mixed up, I'm gonna tell you what all the different countries are. Now pay attention, this is not Sweden. That's a little country known as Vikingville. Now what about this little one right here, right down here? Is that Sweden? No. That country's called Freddie Anderson's house. And what's this one? What's this one called? It's not Sweden, it's, come on, Leo Komarov sometimes, yeah? Come on, you know this one, Kasperi Kapaland. Meaning this beautiful strip in the middle is my home of Sweden. And there's William Nylander right there, just sweating. This went on longer than I expected. Patrick Marleau scored 2-0. Patrick Marleau with his first of the season finally, 7 games in. The 6-game goalless streak has to be an eternity for a guy like him. 2-0 after 1. Gosh, that was such a clean shot Marleau beat Campbell with. He had all the time in the world and he was just like, kid, I got dairy products in my fridge older than you. Snipe! Such a great first period. All the lines are clicking, even the ones who weren't scoring were clicking. Freddie the GOAT, I'm not gonna lie, not looking out of place. Andreas Janssen, I think, had his best game of the season in this one. He looked fast. And I can't talk about fast without talking about Connor Brown? Like, dude, I never knew him as slow, but Connor Brown is noticeably way faster this season. Garrett Sparks, notably not scored on. Some people complaining that they hit the post well, didn't go in, did it? And Jake Gardner, I gotta say, the best period he's played this season. Generating offense, which is rarely the problem with Jake, but he hasn't really been able to do it this season. And looking solid in his own end, being responsible, getting back, breaking up plays. Early in the second period, gives the puck away. Oh, jeez. Now wait though, wait. You can't blame him for this one. He maybe retreated a little too deep into the zone, but the Leafs had numbers. There was a pass made into the slot. Matthews almost gets it, but he flubs it. Iafallo, whose name I just like saying out loud, gives it to Kovalchuk. 5-hole on Sparks. There's a guy I forgot. I don't think he scored on the Leafs in Sparks' draft year. But hey, it's not the end of the world. The Leafs still have a lead. They had a 2-goal lead. Now it's still 1. With Garrett Sparks, I mean, you're not going to stop them all. No one's going to stop them all, unless it's your first game and you're playing the Oilers. And if you're going to get scored on, Ilya Kovalchuk, fair enough. Forget how Garrett Sparks will respond to getting scored on. How will the Leafs respond? Because that was a sloppy play. That was their fault. Well, I tell you what, not perfect. Tyler Toffoli with a clear-as-day shot in the slot. Sparks! Blocker. Marner forces a turnover, sends it up ice to Hyman, 1-on-1. Now, what happened next? Hyman dipsy doodle whoop dangles Doughty out of his jock. His stick goes flying too. Equipment everywhere. Hyman spins around, and at the last second, the puck squirts loose to Tavares. But it's okay. Doughty's defense partner is on the case, I'm sure. And by that, I mean it's Dion Phaneuf, and he skates into Hyman and accomplishes nothing. Tavares to Marner, and he immediately points at Zach. Oh boy, Steve's excited. Was that a beautiful secondary assist I see? Hyman. Junkyard Dog doing work, and it leads to the Leafs getting a 3-1 lead. Oh, watching this replay just brought back so many bad memories. Marner taps the puck by Dion Phaneuf, and holy smokes, the way he turns around, he makes Ron Hainsey look like Scott Moyer. Phaneuf goes for an ill-advised check, which therefore leaves another player unchecked. Stop me if you've heard that before. God, I just don't miss what this team used to be. That being said, though, I don't want to be the fun police, but guys, booing Phaneuf? A little unnecessary, right? First of all, it's ancient history. Second of all, if you thought Dion Phaneuf sucked, go ahead and look around the Leafs roster from when he was a Leaf, and the rest of them were worse. And when the Leafs eventually traded him, not only did they not have to retain salary, the Senators currently are retaining 1.75. And he was the captain, man. I know it was a super dark era, but I'm thinking around the league, what other fan base boos a former captain? I can't think of one. I digress. About 5 minutes ago in the second, the Leafs have a 3-1 lead. The shots are only 20-17 for the Kings, so the game is pretty close in that regard. That's when it starts to get away from the Leafs. And Drew Doughty bombs a one-timer, snagged by Garrett Sparks. It could have gone bad, but he keeps it calm. And we go to intermission with a 3-1 2-goal lead. And as this game goes on, I'm like, I like Garrett Sparks. What I was sort of talking about coming out of the preseason was a trust issue. my eyes didn't trust him. But damn, I didn't trust McElhinney when he came to the team either. He earned that the only way you can earn that. Stop stopping pucks. And that's exactly what Sparks was doing in this one. He was calmer than I'm used to seeing him. He was mostly just standing there in his net. And the part I liked the most is when the other team shot the puck, it didn't go in. Now, third period, a little under halfway through, the Kings are starting to pull away from the Leafs in shots. Shots are 27-18 for the Kings, and if I'm not mistaken, almost 8 minutes in, the Leafs don't have a shot yet. Until Forbor in the offensive zone drops it for Anze Kopitar. Oh, you missed! And they say hockey is a game of mistakes. And ooh, with this roster, you can't make those! Kapanen picks up the puck, and Kopitar is hilarious. He just immediately goes, I'm not catching him. I'll try my best with Matthews. Didn't catch him either. Kopitar is dusted. It's a 2-on-1 against Drew Doughty. Kapanen to Matthews. Doughty like, somebody help! Matthews back to Kapanen. Forehand, backhand. I feel a little bad. Kapanen's second goal of the game, and noted playmaker Austin Matthews' second assist of the game. It's a 4-1 Leaf lead. And while I am gaining trust in Garrett Sparks, a little part of me was like, make it 5. It's more fun that way, and let's just say that this particular score has me scarred. So right now, it's the Garrett Sparks show. Makes a stop flopping around, but you know what? He makes a second stop. Flopping around, looking a little fishy out there, but it's okay. I like fish. He's sitting like this, all flexible, but look behind him, no puck. And as the clock winds down, that is undefeated Garrett Sparks to you. The Leafs improved to 6-1. They've won 5 straight. Kings fans, if I were you, I wouldn't be hard on Jack Campbell. He's been good before this game. Geez, the Kings veterans, though, look like crap. And the power play, which I believe is 0-for on the entire year, 0-for in this game again. They were useless. Forget about the backup goalie. I'd be more mad at the guys making big money, getting the big checks, and not playing like it. That's how I would feel if I were you. LFR questions. Matthews hasn't scored in multiple periods now. Slump? Decline? Wants to go back to Arizona? Retiring? Weekend of Bernie's? No. You see, Matthews doesn't have to score ever again, because the Leafs will get plenty of offense if he just keeps setting up noted better goal scorer than Phil Kessel, Kasperi, Kapanen. By the way, Leafs won the Kessel deal. What have the Penguins ever done since they got Kessel? Nothing, exactly. I rest my case. Who put that there? Any thoughts on Leafs legend Thomas Buchanan's playing 1,000 games? Yeah, good for him. Amazing player. Been amazing for a very long time. He was useful for the Leafs once he finally got used to the team, and at least Montreal didn't make him a silly logo like the Blackhawks did with Duncan Keith. Dude, it said since Freddie is injured, what are your thoughts on Sparks based on tonight's win and on his success with the Marlies? Well, for tonight's win, I mean, that's just one game, and he looked excellent. His success with the Marlies, I think, is more important because he's had more than one good season with the Marlies, but last year was his best. And everyone keeps saying that a big part of that was having Calvin Pickard with him. I think Sparks is a goalie that really rides the highs and lows of confidence. In that first game against the Blackhawks, would you feel good about that? You had a terrible preseason. McElhinney and Pickard get claimed off waivers and Leafs Nation lose their mind. What? It should have been McElhinney. Then you lost 6 goals. But he bounced back, just like the poor performance he had in Game 6 of the Calder Cup final. He bounced back and had an amazing Game 7. He bounced back in this one. I think if Freddie and him click, they really become a tandem on and off the ice. He'll be great. Kasperi Kapanen is the Leafs' next big holdout, right? I don't know why people aren't making a bigger deal out of this, but losses have been holding out on the Leafs for 5 games now. So you know what? That is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. Usual links down below. Merch. You can pre-order the book. You can still sponsor my hockey team, Easter Seals. It's a big charity. And thank you. Last video, I saw your donations to Sick Kids. We're trying to build a new one. That link's down below too. Let's get it.